just turn that camera a little bit.
This one here?
Yeah, just move the whole tripod a little bit more.
Hey, there I am.
Nice, very good.
Oh, you get my best side right there. Can't see me at all. That's the best side.
Very nice.
Probably want to move this a bit, do I?
No, that's fine right where it is.
Oh,
If you want to
okay.
put the headset on, you can.
Oh, then I can hear myself.
Yeah,
I too can.
how's that for volume?
Oh my. A little lower there.
A little lower.
Okay.
All right.
A little too much of myself.
All right. So welcome, Dungeon Minister.
Thank you.
How's the con been going for you so far?
I tell you, it has been a lot of fun. I look out and there's people who are old friends 5 minutes after they meet.
Right.
That has been the best thing because they're speaking a common language. They like the game. They love the same stuff, and so it's been a lovely experience. And the second time around, I've known a little better what to expect. A little.
Right.
And as I was saying earlier, I've known what to expect, but I'm not yet able to prevent it. If it's I know what bad things to expect, but I can't prevent them yet. And I know what good things to expect, but I'm still pleasantly surprised by them.
Right.
So it's been lovely. It's lovely.
Well, good to hear it. I mean, I like bad things trying to prevent them. Like what could?
Oh, just in terms of not having the table cleared in time, not having the table spaghetti in time, not having the food ready, etc. That any detail stuff. Right. It's not like there's no huge catastrophe. If they have happened, people have quietly cleaned them up when I wasn't looking because it seems to have been going quite well.
The time crunch, though, right?
Oh yeah, it's just a lot of stuff, and I. Luckily, though, I have had a lot of help yourself and Rob and Matthew and John, people who Slan, of course, people who showed up early and pitched in or stayed late and helped tidy up. There's been a lot of help. So.
Right, for sure. And on top of your duties as being a minister too,
Well, yes, I think the parish kind of knew that for this weekend I would be, But Sunday morning is a non-optional. That is a command. Performance is sort of the job, at least of the cornerstone of it. So yeah.
Right, for sure. And it was a beautiful service.
Oh, thank you.
I know you're a busy man, so I'll cap that with the crew later.
I like the idea of a recap for a church service, and then he only rolled a 10 on that one, so it was a narrow miss.
Well, I have to say, it was a good service. It was a very good service and a good sermon, and everybody there was very warm and welcoming, and I felt like Matthew, I went with Matthew too, and the church was very open and welcoming, the congregation, so I didn't feel very intimidated, so to speak.
And you sat with Touchberry and Bob Johnny?
Yes, they helped me actually get through some of the hymnal and know where things were. It was they're great.
That's good. I'm glad they helped.
So I asked you a little bit earlier if you would go ahead and give us a dice blessing. I've got my dice bag. You can show to the camera here.
To the
World's okayest barbarian. It's upside down. That's what it says. And inside of there is all my D20s. So on and so forth. But yeah, I just was wondering if you do that for us.
I would certainly do that. Okay, let's pray. Gracious God, we ask you to bless these dice. The games they may play in, games of friendship and camaraderie and joy, times for rest and refreshment and recreation. We do not ask that we get all 20s on these dice. May the rolls lead to lasting memories and friendships. May the one who rolls them travel to and from his games safely, to have rest and refreshment at the end of the day. As we ask, bless these dice in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome. That's actually the first set of dice I've directly blessed. We did a general blessing of the dice at the opening there, but
Okay, I kind of missed that part, but
it was in with the grace.
okay, gotcha.
So that sort of buried it in the grace.
Gotcha. Well, I'm so happy. I now have blessed dice at least for the near future here, and I'm excited to play with them, especially at Bears game at 2:30.
Playing in, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I really want to do that. It sounds like it's going to be one heck of a time.
Yeah.
So
I think he's a good guy.
yeah, for sure. Like you said, 5 minutes, you're old friends. Just with so many people around here, it's excellent. So if anybody out there is thinking about coming in and doing Clericon in the future, you should.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I was talking to someone earlier about, what are the plans? It's going to be 2025. So yeah, so it's going to have to be a bigger space. And you're thinking about a larger space. And I think, I would. It'd be great if we could get a big spot. If we get a whole. But on the other hand, I want to keep it small. Like the smallness is part of the charm.
Yeah.
So we'll see how big it gets. We'll see.
Okay. All right.
But I think next we're going to have to expand out to a second space.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a second space this year, but like a bigger second space. So we're gonna have to get something that's roughly doubling our square footage. And then the one great thing about that is I can get more vendors in there, and so I don't have to worry about space crunch here. You can, more vendors and still have games here because there's got to be games, otherwise no one's coming in where our vendors are, right? You gotta balance this all out, right? And decide what attractions, what games, what events happen where.
Sure. Are you thinking about next year already? Like all of this stuff, you just like writing a list, or like how you kind of what's the planning from? It's already happening.
It's already happening in my head. But one thing I did last year after. I'm glad I did it. Is I sent a survey email to everyone who registered. Because of course, when you register, you provide email because that's how it's all online. Well, that's not true. A couple of people just showed up and just handed me cash. I'm like, okay, registration. But last year I'm going to do it again. Send out a survey and say, what went well, what was good about it, what could have been better, what was a disaster. If you could introduce anything, if you could take anything out, what would it be? And so last year, one of the things I heard was that the sound, the room was just too live. The sound was too bouncy. We had 4 tables last year. This year we've got 5 in here. But, I went and I got these, they're not terribly expensive curtains. I went to the Giant Tiger. If you're into the States, you don't know the Giant Tiger, but it's a good story. Went to the Giant Tiger and got these curtains, and so, hung up just a few of them. But they acted a little bit of sound down, just a little bit to take the edge off. And it did help, because I have to say, this year, it at least was no noisier with 5 tables going. It was no louder than it was last year before. So, and it might even been a little bit better just because the sound was less sharp.
I know nobody said that they lost their voice. A lot of people said when you go to a convention, it'll get so loud that you will end up using your voice after the first couple of sessions. And I heard that a lot of people they said they had to raise their voice just a little bit, but not enough to strain themselves. Yeah, which was really good to.
I want it to be a good space in which to game it, a friendly space in which to game it. I'd say I've looked at pictures from other conventions, and I mean they're in there like sardines, but then I look at the rooms they're in, and they're like rooms designed to hold large crowds. This is a small parish hall, right? It's just a drywall. And they're in rooms that have carpeted walls. Well, of course the sound isn't balanced. They could have more people because the sound isn't as live there. But there were things like have a space where people can just sit and chat. So we opened up the Halfling's Hideaway out in the hallway there.
I was chatting actually with Taylor of the Manticore this morning over there. Just we weren't playing the chessboard or any of the games. We were just there because other things were happening here. We were just hanging out, talking shop.
Yeah, that was the idea of it. Just a place. It's not big. I'd like to have actually a little area for a number of seats together, but that's again small space is what we had. So I tried to table numbers. Someone said put the number on the table. Great, we have table numbers. It's a small thing. It's not a huge deal, but it does help.
Have you thought about doing like a donate link specifically for the con?
When people register, an option to make it. There's like a if you wanted to make a donation. So there is one when people register. People have some very generous things happen. I right now at the Sunday, well I guess noon Sunday, my brain's absolutely no shape to remember who those people are. And I don't remember a number of them, but I don't want to start listing them off and I forget somebody. Right?
I'm sure you'll do.
I'm going to be doing a wrap up with the thank yous as I did last year. Yes, because it does help. The people who made donations above it. There were people who signed up for the con knowing they couldn't come, way too far away. They just signed up. Just to say here's some support.
The proceeds and support. Yeah.
So, which is also deeply appreciated. So I want to recognize those folks as well, and all of it combines. And last year we covered the cost. We had a little bit left over, not a huge amount, but we had weeks and actually were in the black. I have not looked at the numbers this year, partly because I'm a year older and that was stupider, so I'm not paying attention to anything.
You and me both. Nobody told me what every year sequentially what I would be experiencing.
A little tick down in your capacity, yeah.
Well, a little more forgetful, a little more, a little more unsteady on the brush sometimes, but
you've had your own adventures getting here. I'm sure you've recounted them for your folks. That was quite the travail getting here for you.
I still wouldn't change it for the world. Like the memories that I've made here have been just, I'm going to talk about them for a very long time. Again, wonderful bunch of people around the tables, wonderful personalities and folks and helpful and kind as they well.
We lingua franca, we all speak nerd, we all speak role-playing game, and it shows. You don't have to invent the language for the situation because you all kind of know.
Right.
Pretty cool.
Could I ask just a couple more questions?
You go. It's your channel.
What is the I know you're a busy man. The con's going on. Like, I don't want to totally drag you away, so feel free to let me know when you want to jump out. So you're the church. You kind of told them that the con's going on. Come on for coffee or after the service. What is the general feelings from the congregation about this? Because I'm sure you've shared some.
Yeah.
What is the general consensus here?
Well, first of all, they're amazed and delighted, especially when they talk to people and people who've traveled a long way to be here. People have come up from the States. A ye old geek, John, coming in from the UK.
Yeah.
And they think that's pretty cool. They think that's very cool. And there's a the rector, Anglican, Church of England, Episcopal in the United States, tended to be a little quirky and weird anyway.
Okay.
I mean, think of Mr. Collins in Pride and Prejudice. We tend to be a little on the strange side. Although I will say, Anglican clergy, because their living was provided by the land that was rented out and used, etc. And it's a job that has its ups and downs. There are times when it's running ragged, but there's lots of times for priests that are relatively quiet.
Yeah.
So Anglican clergy are actually responsible for a whole bunch of the botany and entomology, etc. All sorts of naturalists and biologists who described the natural world because they had the education and the time. But at any rate, so we're always doomed to have some weird hobbies and strange. So they regard that as mine.
Me and Matt were talking, and we were trying to kind of differentiate after seeing the service and what was done. Try to, because I know Angelican is an offshoot of like Catholicism, right?
Anglican. Although there's a funny story about the Anglican, which satisfied Pope Leo, who saw two slaves from Britain, and they were fair-haired and blue-eyed. And he said, "Who are these?" "Oh, they're Angles, and they're not Angles; they are angels."
Oh,
But the Anglican, yeah. We sit between the Reformation and the Roman Catholic churches.
okay. I essentially told him, well, as far as I can tell, it's like if the Catholic Church was D&D, Anglican would be Pathfinder.
No, because Pathfinder has more roots.
Okay. So maybe the opposite is true.
It's Roman Catholicism without a pope. Priests can be married, they can be women, and doctrinally, there's really no difference in terms of veneration for Mary, but in practice, Roman Catholics have more veneration for the Blessed Virgin Mary. But the official doctrine is the same, almost.
So I wanted to pose the question to you then. How would you build that? You know, in terms of like, so how would you?
I don't know that I would try actually.
I suppose.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a straight.
Yeah. No, we're just different. We are playing out of the same rule book, but we have different homebrew rules.
And there you have it, everybody. There you have it.
Yeah, we have.
It's a lovely way to put it.
Some of us have homebrewed one way, others have homebrewed, and homebrewing includes adding rules, it includes taking rules away, it includes ignoring rules, changing rules, everything in between.
Like you guys were talking about yesterday at the panel.
That's probably the best one.
Very nice. Very nice.
I'd like to think we're playing by me. That's just me.
Any other future plans and such with the and so on and so forth for like just extra special. You know, we have some viewers out there that are chatting away. One of them was praying with us, and Ethan is raising donations every time and raising and painting sends their regards.
Very good. Hello, Ethan, is here? The people's online names and in-person names aren't always the same. Okay, actually, though.
There's Tonka Todd. Yeah.
Hello, Todd. Okay, closer to the mic? Here.
So, yeah, volume's still good. Need it down low.
I'm fine in my head. I mean, I can always hear myself and the other voices in my head. I'll sneak.
It's been really cool to see ES Games here and like some of the other vendors in the area. Has other vendors kind of, thought about hopping on board?
Yeah, there was a local dice company that was considering joining us, and I hope they will too. Another fellow who can do like sort of game adjacent things, notebooks for keeping your stuff in, and candles for lighting and making a spooky kind of stuff. Yeah, but it wasn't going to work out this year like that way. But yeah, so there's some other folks, and as a rock, thank you for saying it, because I've got to go and grab. It's up on my wallet. Our three boys all describe their characters, and she's doing up character commissions for them. So
Are you gonna show that off then?
gosh, yes. Yeah, gosh, yes. Absolutely. It's really fun.
So that's awesome to hear that there are other people commercially trying to come into. I'm hoping what for numbers. What would you project for next next year between the program year this year?
Well, so last year we ended up with that. Last year was harder because there were far more people joining at the last minute. So I've got the official tally from the online registrations, but then there were far more people who came the last minute. Just here's the fee for the grabbing the land. I do know that from last year I bought a box of 50 band holders, and I ended up with 2 left. Now that included though some people who had registered just to show support, and I mailed them their badges. And some people who registered and did not show up. They registered. They intended to be here. Life got in the way. They didn't. They weren't here. So there was a mix. But that said, we had 55 registered online, and then a handful came in at the last minute. So I'd say we probably grew by about 20. Okay. And I do know there were people who went to register and they found that there were just no tables open in the last month, really. Yeah. And then at the last minute we added a couple of more tables, and a few people glommed onto those and registered and filled those tables up. But I would say if I can put up a call for DMs, and all the DMs that I've talked to so far say they had a good time running a game here. Yeah. So if they all come back, add a few more, we're going to be able to come close to doubling the tables. If I do that, we're going to come close to being able to double the tables, and that'll. I don't know what the growth will be. I don't know if that'll just mean that the people who already registered will be able to play more games.
Sure. Well, I mean, maybe not growth limit, which is grow by 20 this year, 25.
I think we could probably add another 20 or I think we could probably add another 20, 25 by next year. I've got no idea. There's not a marketing going in my body. Everything that has happened to get the word out on this has just been me going, hey, I'm doing something. And people going, okay, that's nice. We'll help you get the word out because you don't know what you're doing.
Well, believe it or not, I heard a nugget of gold last night while I was playing BX with Kevin from Red Cap Podcast, who was running the game. One of the players there said that they were kind of interested in into BX, found Kevin on Red Caps, and Kevin was talking about Clericon. And that's how he got here. And my mind was like, that is just that is the objective here.
What last year when we started, we were all new. Who's this guy? Glenn Williams, Ontario. It's the middle of nowhere. What do we do? Not the middle of nowhere, but the fact that Bandits came down. Hexpress came down, but he came kind of last minute, so we weren't able to, put his name on the banner. But Bandits came, Nature's Music, Tale of the Mantle. People that have a following online, right? People knew. It's a I've listened to this guy. His podcast. I've watched this guy's videos. I love those. I can game with this person. Oh, I'm there. I'm gonna come and game with this person.
The player was like just totally ecstatic to meet Kevin. Yeah, and he had just run through his content and was really. And they chatted at the table just specifically about their game for like a solid 10 minutes. And only those moments can happen at things like that.
Well, that's it. And for me, when part of the reason I wanted to bring these YouTubers and podcasters that I enjoy is so that I could meet them. It's like I'd really like to hang out with Bandits Keep. I like to come to the con. But in addition to that, knowing that that's going to, if these folks are here, people are going to say, okay, that's a place I want to be. Because these are cool people. I would like to hang out with these cool people. And so that every person, every YouTuber, podcaster, podcaster who comes here and then mentions it, talks about it online. Just adds street cred.
Yeah.
You know, like it's, don't worry, I know it's a priest. I know it's being held at a church hall. I know it's in a tiny village on the edge of the GTA, you know, the greater Toronto area. I know it's, you know, a little weird, but trust me, these are good people. They're okay.
Yeah.
So it helps build the street cred for the con, and people get to know it and say, okay, that's something I want to go to, because the word of mouth is the most powerful thing.
Right? And I mean, it's also a bit.
Are you still joining us? Were you still joining us?
Oh, you've got to play a game, dude.
Really?
If you're busy, we're cool. We're just,
My PC call set back to Central Time. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I'm signed up for a game. I gotta go, everybody. Thank you very much for having me. I'm sorry. Oh boy. All right.
Human clocks.
I know.